I wandered a lot, like looking for money, jumping from one business to another, failing in one area, trying the other one, looking for money. So ziko kwa lori, it's hot, 2 days have gone. Lori umekomboa for 3 days, so now the second day the lorry is supposed to go back to the owner.
Wow.
So either you komboa for another 3 days to stay with the lorry, or they leave you with the cabbages.
Wakumwagia cabbage chini wachukue lori.
Yeah. And that's what they did. With the knowledge I have now, I can create something that my children will take over and put strategies that also their children will benefit from it and other generations from that. When you are the founder, you are the vision bearer of the business. Find administrators. Don't have that ego that you want to be called the CEO, you want to be called the managing director.
Somebody said, don't time the market, give the market time. Earning a lot of money is not the key to prosperity. How you handle it is. So beloved, this is your brother and your friend Eric Mungai, bringing to you your favorite show, The Epic Show. This is where faith meets purpose and stories of resilience, impact, and transformation come into play. We are hosted by Peakrest Homes. They are adjacent to Kingdom Seekers Fellowship. They have ample parking, secure home. If you need a home away from home, a serene environment where you can even get in-room services, kindly contact them. The digits are on the screen, and you'll be glad that you did it. Before I introduce my guest, I'd like to appreciate Madini Waters. Maji siyo maji, maji ni madini. Your body deserves the best, so be hydrated by the best. Madini Waters, clean, crisp water. And their riders can deliver it to your doorstep. And they are always branded. So chukuma maji yoyote tu alafu wakwambie tumetoka Madini. No, they are always branded and they are well-disciplined food soldiers. We have branches all around the country. So wherever you are, their details are on the screen. Kindly reach out to them and you'll be glad that you did it. Now, the Bible tells us that a wise man leaves inheritance to his children's children. I know you're watching this because you want to be wise so that you can leave inheritance to your children's children. So when we talk about transgenerational wealth, there is no better person to talk to this about other than Joseph, a financial consultant, someone I've come to love and know for a long time. He is a sucker for financial issues. He is the best of the best in the market. He trains people on financial integrity and literacy, because you have to understand, kama vile tumesema ya kwanza, it is not how much you're making, how are you handling what you're making. So we talk about transgenerational wealth with the best of the best, and I'll allow him to introduce himself further. Karibu sana, Jose.
Thank you so much for having me again. Yeah.
And thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you for already introduced me.
So apart from financial consultancy, who is Joseph?
A husband, a father, a friend to many, and someone who is very passionate about finance. Not just finance in the aspect of making money, but making the knowledge available and in a relatable way to everyone, whether you're down there, middle class, or even
so someone, whichever level you are.
Yes,
whichever
definitely.
level you are.
Yeah.
So could it be that ulikuwa motivated kuingia kwa hii line sababu ulishaisota?
Okay, I think mtu tu mwenye hajaisota ndi kama ulizaliwa kwa hizo familia za kina Uhuru. And I think one of the best lessons in finance ni kusota. And I've been there, I've hit rock bottom. Maybe that's a story I'll share as we move on. And you know how they say that you should first identify your purpose, then follow your purpose, and then money will follow you.
Hey, say that slowly. Because you see, majority of us in this generation, we are following money.
Yeah.
So ukiuliza mtoi, what exactly do you want to be? Anaangalia the best paying job.
Exactly. And so that is also like I wandered a lot, like looking for money, jumping from one business to another, failing in one area, trying the other one, looking for money. And I just thought whoever was saying that identify your purpose first, then money will follow. I thought they were just motivational speakers, saying something to get views or sell books. But I can attest it's when I identified my purpose that I was able to settle, and somehow God finds a way of feeding you and driving you in that area.
How was your journey? How much did you meander before you got into your major?
Many years. I would say, first of all, at least when I left high school, I knew what I wanted to study. So I studied CPS, that is accounting, and I also studied business at the university, so economics and mathematics. So, and I've practiced accounting. I've been employed a few times, but my passion was in entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay.
So I knew I wanted to do business, and I've tried several businesses. I've failed in many businesses, and I think the lessons that I've learned from those failures, it makes sense when someone said that when you try something and you fail, don't count it as a failure. Count it as the school fees you're paying to learn that lesson.
Oh, that is so powerful.
Yeah.
So when you try something and you fail, it's not really failure.
Yeah.
You've just paid school fees
to learn that lesson.
That brings a different perspective, because majority of the time tunafia kuanza kitu and then to fail, watu watasemaje. But now when you get the right perspective on failure, it helps you even to start again. Definitely.
And especially when I think last time we talked about being an impactful entrepreneur, because the entrepreneurs or business people who were there who want to make a quick shilling, and those opportunities are there. But being an entrepreneur for impact, it means you have to sacrifice a lot, you have to wait a lot, so you have to be patient, and at times you feel like you're losing or you're not making it, and most people give up in that process. And they jump to the next new thing, and they continue having a series of failures, and it's too late when they realize that was part of the journey, and they end up not being impactful in that area because they gave up early when they were supposed to just persist.
All right. So let me ask this, because we have to put things into perspective. Kuna mtu anaweza kuwa ana try the wrong thing.
Yes.
Na ana fail.
Yes.
Doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
Na kuna mwingine ako kwa niche yake.
Yes.
But they are still failing, even because you have to understand, even when you're doing your purpose,
you failing. Yes.
You still fail. Even when you're doing your purpose. If you ask people right now they are almost making it in their line of calling, there are very many times they tried, they failed. They tried, they failed. Now how do we differentiate? Ndio tusiambie huyo mtu mwenye ako in the wrong thing, wewe endelea kungangana, endelea kujaribu.
Yeah, because there's also a question. Someone asked a question. What if ungangane to climb a ladder, and when you reach the top, you find that you've leaned it on the wrong wall? What do you do? Do you continue staying on that wall? But I believe life or nature has a way of aligning you to your purpose.
Okay.
That means you have to be very, very perceptive to nature, to things that you like, things that you're passionate about, so that even when you're trying it, something that you don't like. Let me give you an example. To make money, nishai jaribu kuuza mboga na nyanya.
Ngoja kidogo. Kwa hivyo wakati Horizon ongea kuhusu mama mboga, alisahau kusema baba mboga.
Alisahau baba mboga na nyanya.
And you have tried that kibandaski thing?
No, it wasn't really kibandaski. I used to rent a lorry, go to the farmers.
It's a big league.
No, it's not big league. Let me tell you that
if
story.
You can hire a lorry.
Let me tell you that story. And we used to, and that is the lesson, because it's someone who came and gave us these, I call them paper maths. Like on paper, things look very, very nice.
I tell you.
So,
mtu anakuja na kuambia ukieka broiler 100. Kwa pepa?
Yeah.
Si ndio unazita pepa ukieka broiler so. And then
zianze kutaga
anakwambia hata broiler inaweza taga na ni ya nyama. Anakuonesha mahesabu, unaona kwa broiler so umebaki na kama 20k. Na ni 6 weeks.
6 weeks. So the same thing akaniambia, mboga uko Nyandarua ni shilingi 5.
Okay.
In the farm. Na mboga somewhere in Kitui ni 50 bob.
So tutoe Nyandarua tupeleke Kitui.
So you just have to rent a lorry for 30k, carry mbogas. I think we were carrying about 400 pieces. Go to Kitui, mbogas itanganganiwa and
urudi kwa market.
So I thought, this is a good thing. So I tried, or rather I did it. You can imagine that journey from Nyandarua to Kitui, it's quite far.
You really did it?
I did it. And I'll give you the photos and you put them here.
Kwa mahindi yako, ngoja kidogo. Kwa mahindi yako uko na figures za how much ukichukua lori ya Nyandarua unajua uko na baki. What are your profit margins?
If you have 400 pieces and you're selling each at
umebuy 5 bob.
And umebuy 5 bob.
Na unauza 50. So kabo moja na kubakisha 45.
So that so 45
times
400 pieces. Not 400 pieces, 4,000 pieces.
4,000 pieces.
Yes. Because it's I think there were 5 lorries. So 4,000 pieces, you have 180,000.
Ayatoa 30 ya lori.
You utoe 30 ya lori.
Uko na Wanchwani.
Exactly.
Na umetoka Nyandarua, ukaenda Kitui.
Yes.
Good business.
And that is work for 3 days.
Good business.
Yeah, good business on
so
paper.
153 days kila siku tuko na 50,000. Nani kama wewe?
Nani kama wewe?
Twende kwa ground.
Ground, you first of all get there. If you get at the Soko past 4 a.m., you don't get a place to park. So
they didn't tell you that.
But at least I was there before 4 a.m.
Okay.
And I found so many lorries already there. So I was like, kumbe, it's something people know. And the market opens at around 6. And now you have to stand behind the lorry kuitania mboga.
Si ati unakimbiliwa venye walikwambia?
Kuna kukimbiliwa. So what the sad truth, it's you are like 15-20 lorries competing with that market, and each lorry has the same kind of maths in their mind. So selling even 500 pieces the first day was a miracle. So unaangalia lori hapa tu nyuma tu ndio mboga zimeenda
uko zimejaa.
So the guy who was taking me there tells me, don't worry, tomorrow is another market just like 50 kilometers from here.
Let's drive there.
Bado
tunaongeza expense za gari.
But still kwa mind yangu 150 Toyota 50k
is okay. Kibaki na kamia bado ndakuwa 50.
Second day, another market very far, place ilikuwa inaitwa Zombe. People who know that place know how far and how hot it is. Can imagine it's Kitui and below there is coal. So it's hot down and up. So again there, if you're lucky, 500 pieces.
Tumeuza 1,000.
So you still have 3,000 pieces. So ziko kwa lori, it's hot, 2 days have gone. Lorry umekomboa for 3 days. So now the second day the lorry is supposed to go back to the owner.
Wow.
So either you komboa for another 3 days to stay with the lorry, or they leave you with the cabbages.
Wakumwagia cabbage chini wachukue lorry.
And that's what they did.
Wakumwagia cabbage chini. Zombe. Huku kumoto huku. Huku unasema ni kumoto.
Huku ni kwenye ni kumoto. By that they had already started turning yellow. And there is no one who is buying, and it was total disaster, total loss, total chaos. And that was the first lesson. Hesabu za karatasi hatsana nazo, they look good to be true, but Incidentally, there are people who succeed in those businesses.
Yes.
Because one, they have already established themselves in the market. Two, they know how to play against. There's a very interesting theory in economics that says, I'll put it very crudely, but it says that farmers are foolish.
Farmers are foolish.
Yeah, and it explains it this way, that when there's a bumper harvest, when every farmer has harvested bumperly, so there's a lot of, let's say, cabbages in the market.
Yes.
So definitely the price will go down.
Of course.
Kukiwa na cabbage mingi, ama waru mingi,
the
prices
demand
will
is
go
low.
down. Yeah. So what farmers do, they will be like, hii mboga imenichoma. So next season, stapanda. You see? So what happens next season? A few farmers plant.
And they succeed on that.
Now, there's few cabbages in the market.
The high demand is there.
The high demand.
Supply iko low.
So again, now the prices of cabbages
go high.
Sasa
ule farmer anasikia huyu alimake it na cabbage.
Anasema
wanarudi
kumbe mboga ziko so it's always that kind of cycle.
Okay.
So you see, as much as I had that kind of education, I wasn't able to apply it because I went to the market when the supply was high. Everyone was supplying.
I had this powerful quote. Somebody said, don't time the market, give the market time. Because when you're timing the market, unaweza time wrong. But if you see, for example, his example, if you fail in one endeavor and go again and you go again, eventually kuna mmoja lazima ingejipa. So what kind of lesson can we learn from that story before anybody starts a business?
One thing, already we've said it, hesabu za math,
hesabu za book.
I mean, hesabu za paper, I wouldn't say chorea kabisa, but have that level of looking at the other side. Ukifanya hesabu ya kuongeza, angalia pia ya kutoa, so that you can be able to buffer yourself. Second thing, that is the agricultural sector. It depends with the seasons. As you said, if you go against the season, like kama wakati people are harvesting, that is when you're planting. That means when they'll be harvesting, planting you're harvesting. So if you're able to do that, and that's why things like greenhouses come into place, irrigation, kwa sababu right now no one is planting kwa sababu kuna jua. But when the rain start, every farmer will be in the shamba planting. So come June, every farmer will be harvesting. But if you don't go against the grain, and it happens in so many other markets, like look at when everyone is supplying, what are you doing? And even when it comes to sophisticated markets like the share market, one of the biggest investors, Warren Buffett, says that his secret is doing the opposite. When others are selling,
he's buying.
When others are buying,
he's
selling.
So he goes against the grain.
He goes against the grain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's important. That's very important. It's a good marketing tip. Sababu nishaiona madam ameretire. Hapa tu tao ameretire akapiga pension yake and then akajiuliza what can I do? Alikuwa anapenda boutique, akafungua boutique. Kidogo fashion ishatoka. 6 million down the drain within a year. Hako na 6 million. You can even you can run mad.
Yeah.
So let's talk about transgenerational wealth.
Yes.
When we're talking about transgenerational wealth, kindly explain to my viewers, what is transgenerational wealth?
Basically, what that means is because most people who start businesses have families, you'd expect that your son or daughter will take over that business after you.
Yeah.
And they will maybe try to take it to a higher level or, grow it bigger. And then their children will also take over that business. And if you look traditionally, like, for instance, my grandfather was a carpenter. And when I inquired, his father was a carpenter.
Onyi mulko familia ya Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus. And the people before him dealt with wood and timber and all that.
Joseph.
Yeah, but at some point that pattern was broken kwa sababu ya shule. So when my father went to school, now he did something totally different from that. And also when I went to school, I did something totally different
from what your dad did.
Exactly.
Okay.
So maybe coming from me, we can say like there's no business that I can take over from my father to me and then to my children. But with the knowledge I have now, I can create something that my children will take over and put strategies that also their children will benefit from it and other generations from that.
That's amazing.
Do
we have a real life scenario in Kenya, for example, where somebody has succeeded, apart from Indians ace it? But give us an example where kuna mwenye amefail, kuna mwenye succeed.
But to give that example, we can't exclude the Indians because it's historically known. The Indians were the labor that was brought in by the British to build the railway from Mombasa all the way to Uganda. That was in the 1890s. Yeah. And they saw the opportunity to create, or rather they saw the demand, so they provided supplies for the workers and for the people around them.
Yes. And
they had their businesses, and they used to call them, it's a Hindi word, dukawalas.
Dukawalas.
Yeah, something like that.
So hapo ndo tulitoa jina duka.
Exactly. So Wahindi ndio walileta stories za duka.
They're the real entrepreneurs.
They're the real entrepreneurs. And we have cases of successful business empires that are family oriented. And at the same time we have cases of disastrous business empires that are family oriented. Like if you look at the Bidco oil companies and all that, he's one of the richest guys right now, and his father started the business. He's a Muhindi, and the current CEO took over the business, and it's a multi-billion business right now. And of course with the structures that are there, we are not expecting it to fail anytime soon. So ni biashara itakuwa for the longest foreseeable future, and those children and their children will be able to benefit from it. Another example of a Kenyan brand that would have been a very good case study for multi-generational wealth is Tuskys.
Where have you said would have been?
Because right now, you can't find an open Tuskys supermarket.
Yeah, they shut down.
Yeah. And the last one to shut down was the one at Kenyatta Avenue here in Nakuru, back in 2021. And it was ironical because the first one was also started in Nakuru.
And the last one closed in Nakuru.
Yes. So to give a brief history of that multi-generational wealth using Tuskys, we had the founder. The founder was one, I don't know whether if you went to Tuskys supermarket, they used to, near the cashiers, they used to
get picture
Kamze fulani amevaa cardigan.
Yes.
His name is Joram Kago, but he passed on. And when he started the business, I think back in 1978, and not as a supermarket, just as a shop.
Dukawalas, this thing.
Yeah. But the good thing about him is that he had some experience, which is also another lesson we are going to see, because he had worked for the Shah brothers. The Shah brothers are the ones who started Nakumatt.
Oh.
Yeah.
So by the time Joram anakuja kuanza Tuskys, he already have experience from Nakumatt. And Nakumatt was one of the best, by the way, in Kenya.
Actually, I missed the date. Nakumatt was started in 1978.
Nakumatt was started in 1978. So Joram was working there.
Joram.
He was the first employee.
I think so. And one of the lawyer employees. And he worked there until around 1985. So that is about 7 years of getting first-hand mentorship on how to run a business. So, which is also maybe
that's another lesson. That's another lesson. Yeah.
That if you want to start a
business. Wewe kuwa mjanja tukiongea tu glean some lessons. We don't have to teach you everything.
Kitu yenye unataka kuanza, like work under someone who is already doing
it.
You see the challenges, you see the you know, the networks that they have, the benefits of that kind of business. Ukiona yenyewe haikubambi,
that's nice. So Joram ako under
the Shah brothers.
The Shah brothers.
Yes.
Nakumat. So Joram ako I can start my own shop.
Yes. Okay. And they supported him.
Oh, the Shah brothers supported him. Yeah, that's amazing.
Because if you look at some of the things that Nakumat did, Nakumat was called Nakuru mattresses. And Tuskys was also called Tusker mattresses.
By the way.
Yeah. When they changed the name from Nakuru mattresses to Nakumat, then this guy changed to Tuskys.
Oh yes.
Dropped the
mattress.
If you look at the
mattress, Dr. Mattress.
The emblem for Nakumat was an elephant.
Yes.
And this guy had the big five.
The big five, yes.
So it's something that he really learned.
He was really mentored.
Yes.
Okay, by the Shah brothers.
By the Shah brothers.
Continue, please.
And he continued and did well. I think by the time he was passing on in 2002, they had over 60 branches.
60?
Yes.
We are not talking about Nakumat.
No, it's
Tuskys now.
Yes.
60 branches across the country.
Across the country.
Na sasa si shop.
Ni supermarkets. You know Tuskys, how serious
they were.
Yes,
they were serious with business.
Serious, big businesses. And so when he passed on, that meant that now the founder has passed the torch to the children.
Yes.
So it was now the turn of the children to carry
do
over
their
the
best
business.
And touch.
And in business, when we're talking about that kind of multi-generational wealth, we find that when we have the founder, he's running the business as the sole decision maker.
Okay.
Like, yes, he can discuss with the others, but his word is final.
The buck stops with him.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when now it comes to siblings, now we call that sibling partnership.
Okay. So the decision is not made by a particular person.
Yes.
So it
has to be made by the siblings.
Yes.
Yes. And so would expect that.
And that makes it tough.
Yes.
Sababu kabla vichwa tano agree.
Hapa zilikuwa 7. He had 7.
7 kids. And they all had to agree.
And they all had to agree. So they all had shares. They all had interest in the business, and they all wanted to manage the business. So why I say that this could have been the best case study is if they had agreed, if they had found a way of solving the differences, of managing the enterprise, we could still have Tuskys.
Yeah.
But it's well documented in the newspapers, in the news everywhere, that it's the siblings' rivalry that broke down Tuskys. Wow. The way so many other family businesses don't go past that second generation is because the brothers, the sisters, hawakubaliani. As much as they have the core business, kila mtu anataka iende direction yake. And one of the most, there were about two sons were very vocal. One was called Yusuf Mugweru, and the other one was called Stephen. Stephen was the CEO. Yusuf was, I think, the sales manager. And I think at some point he saw that the supermarket was struggling, so he was trying to find money for marketing because that was his docket. But when he went to the CEO, who is his older brother, he said there's no money
for marketing.
Yeah, or for anything. So he looked through the books and he found that 1.6 billion was missing.
Hey. Wow.
So you can imagine how much a billion is.
A billion is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
1.5 are missing.
1.6 billion was missing. So meaning it has been misappropriated by probably the CEO and the other family members, because they used to take money and fund their own businesses.
Oh.
And you know how businesses work. You have to reinvest in the business so that the business can thrive.
Yes.
So that had to be a court case.
Now it's a family court case.
Now it's a family
Ni mabro wamesuyana.
Yeah.
Where is the 1.5?
Where is the 1.5 billion? It's missing.
And this is again money.
Yeah.
Na bad reputation for public.
No, the bad reputation, we haven't even come to the bad reputation, because the thing that really also came out was that these two had an actual fist fight. It's well documented. Si kitu nimesikia hiyo.
Wakashikana guoko. Kaende kauno.
Kaende. The CEO, the sales manager, the third born and the fourth born, I think, walishikana wao. So you can imagine what picture they are painting to the other siblings. You can imagine how the board meeting would look like. Like, tumekuja meeting ya board kudiscuss biashara, but niko na bandits. Mwingine ako na macho imefura. So do they start talking about business ama kwa nini ulinishika mashati? Yeah. And so at some point they decided to sell the business, which not sell the whole business, but part of the business
give shares
to a strategic partner.
That was a good idea, I think.
Yeah, it was a good idea. But then again, sibling rivalry.
They didn't agree.
Yeah, they didn't agree.
That was a good idea.
Some were for it.
Sustain Gina.
Others walikata. So as an investor, what do? You can't get in somewhere where there's no
murky waters.
Harmony, yeah. And the quarrels went on that way, and at one point they decided also again, which is also a good idea as a family business, to appoint an unfamily member as the CEO. So that they can have
some professionalism.
Exactly.
Na mtu mwenye mnaweza question.
Exactly. Someone who now they give the decision making back to him, and he answers to the board who are the family members.
That is true.
And they can fire him now based on whether he's delivering or not.
Yeah.
But if you search YouTube right now, Tuskys family members chasing away CEO.
It is there.
It is there. Utaiona.
Akitoleo teke.
Na wanamuongelesha maneno mbaya sana. A guy called Dan someone. Use a good professional, a good CEO, someone who had been in the business for long, someone who could have been able to turn around the fortunes of the company. But now, since he has the power of making decisions, the family members don't want.
Guys.
And at that point, I think it had reached where now the cousins, you see now these are brothers and sisters who are the second generation. Now, their children are cousins.
So they are also
now
demanding
have come into the business.
So the third generation need a piece of the pie.
It's called the Cousins Consortium. They want a piece of the pie. They want to be at the center of the gold mine.
Oh, wow.
So they chased away the
CEO.
Yeah, and not chasing away at you are fired.
Yeah, you are fired.
If you look at that clip, I think you can put it here. He's literally being chased away. They see him to the car park. He gets in his car and he drives away. And at that point, the downward trend for Tuskys
has started.
Accelerated.
Imeaccelerate. Si kwanza imeanza imeaccelerated. Wow.
And the end thing is, as much as it was bad for the family, they owed employees a lot of money. They owed suppliers a lot of money. And one of the hardest hit, sijui kama ukiwa maybe years back, which was your favorite biscuit brand? Nakumbuka Britannia.
Britannia, yeah, it was very common.
Iko, squeezy.
Really, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I
think the Tuskys owed them $1 billion plus in supplies. That's how they collapsed, because Tuskys couldn't pay them.
Oh, what kind of lessons you learned from this?
So,
my goodness.
But imagine if these brothers had come together after the death of their father and decided, one, let's be board members, let's be shareholders, but let's leave the running of the business to professionals.
Yes.
Let's get a salary, let's get a dividend at the end of the year. But let us not pinch money out of the business.
So even if you have a big conglomerate,
yes,
get a salary.
Yes.
Sindio?
Get a dividend at the end of the year.
Get some dividends at the end of the year.
Yes.
Wacha kukaa wewe ndio unadisha out pesa zote.
Yes.
Contrast that Tusky story na what we have currently called the Naivasha supermarket.
The Naivas. You know, something interesting is, the three biggest supermarkets that have ever been in Kenya, that is Nakumatt,
yes,
Tuskys and Naivas, yes, they all started in Nakuru. So Nakuru is a very fertile ground for startups.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah. And the other amazing thing is that the founder of Naivas, one Peter Mukuhakago, is a brother to the founder of Tuskys.
No kidding.
Joram Kamaukago. They have the same surname.
No kidding. They were brothers.
They were brothers.
Naivas na Tuskys.
Yeah. And
now
the story goes,
walipokuwa hiyo biashara.
The Peter brother, the younger brother of Joram was not in Nakumatt, but when Joram started his first business in Rongai. He was born in Rongai.
Shop.
Yes. So when now he wanted to expand to not start a supermarket, he left that small business to his brother back in Rongai. So again, he went the same steps, Naivasha mattress, then
Naivasha mattress, by the way.
So he was following the same footsteps, and when he left the business to his children, I think one of the brightest things that they did was to find professionals to run.
That is where Tuskys failed.
Yes, and that is where Naivas succeeded.
They found professionals to run the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they sold some stake to an investor who invested a lot of money. So they had now money to pay suppliers. They had money to grow other branches, etc. So right now, you don't hear family wrangles in Naivas.
No, not at all.
Yeah, yet there are brothers and sisters in it. There are cousins in it. And as we had said, when you're giving that case of Tuskys, I think now they draw a salary as well as get dividends at the end of the year. At the end
of the year.
Yes.
Because now the business is booming.
The business is thriving. The
and now
management is okay.
I hear they've given a larger percentage to these other organizations than they have.
And which might not be a bad thing, because I think as Africans or as individuals, we have this problem of wanting to be associated as the owner or the majority owner of something. I think it's for the ego.
You're speaking.
Yeah, but if you look at some of these big founders, like tunasemanga Facebook ni ya Mark Zuckerberg. But if you come to realize, he owns only like 4%.
No kidding.
Yeah. 96% is owned by so many other people.
So aka kashida kenye tuko nako
kakushikilia mimi ndio sonko, mimi ndio kusema, mimi ndio niko na majority.
It's an ego issue.
It's an ego issue, because in business, Elon Musk, the richest man in the planet. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. Look at the percentage of ownership of the businesses they own. Elon Musk owns like 10% of Tesla. It's not at the
10%.
Yeah, like I'm not sure, but it's not more than 10%. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos the same.
The same. He owns a small percentage of
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates also. Just go and find out. Just that now their percentage, as it's big as individual owners, because now these other percentages are owned by corporate, and other people own 0.0
and shared by very many people.
Very many people.
So 10% ya Facebook ni kubwa sana.
4% ya Facebook.
4% ya Facebook ni kubwa sana. Oh, that's another thing I've learned.
Yeah.
Tuache kuaddress ego, tunaharibu biashara.
Yeah, because if you have a very good startup, for instance, you are solving a problem and you want funding. You want the funding, but you also want to be the decision maker. And you also find, I don't know whether you have also seen this thing, that the founders, in most cases, are not the CEOs of those businesses.
No, yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, because as a founder, you might be good at thinking, you might be good in the technology, you might be good
Pioneering
in the
an
marketing.
idea,
Yes.
pioneering an
But
idea.
a CEO is the administrator. Businesses require proper administration.
Yes.
And in some cases, for businesses to thrive, like Apple, they had to kick out the founder because he was interfering with the management.
All right.
Yeah. So sometimes, if there was a way that these children of Mr. Joram could have been kicked out.
But by who?
That's why I said if there was a way, if there was a board, if there was a good governance structure.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're the CEO simply because you're the son of the founder.
That's the only qualification.
That's the only qualification. Let's kick you out. You'll have your shares.
You'll have your dividends.
Anything around here.
Pick your salary at the end of the month. But don't interfere with the administration and running of the activities.
So it's also advisable, like when you are the founder, you are the vision bearer of the business. Find administrators. Don't have that ego that you want to be called the CEO, you want to be called the managing director, you want to be, all those titles. Yet, these people who come with professionalism have the capacity to build that business from where you started to greater lengths.
Wow. You see, they say a chain is only as strong as its weak end. A chain is only as strong as its weak end. If you are doing something as a family, or if you are doing something as a team, winning as a team is way more important than having your name fronted in the pages of newspapers and magazines. Because at the end of the day, a football team loses as a team. You don't lose as a striker, you don't lose as a defender, you don't lose as a midfielder. It's teamwork. So it's very important for you to glean those lessons, apply whichever can be applicable, and make sure you are building transgenerational wealth. Yes. Yeah, so you say, apart from those key lessons that you need to learn from those stories, what other lessons, practical lessons, because that's very practical.
Yes.
What other practical lessons can you give us on building transgenerational wealth?
Okay, I think one, most of the current structure of business, let's say businesses that we have, they are not structured for continuity. No, because when you say you are self-employed, it means you've started a business, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at it from another angle, you've created a job for yourself. You could have been employed somewhere, but now instead of working under someone,
you have employed yourself.
Yes, you've created a job for yourself. And in most cases, the resource that works in that job is you. So without you, that job cannot go on. Think of the many businesses that we start, the boutiques, the kinyozis, the whatever. We create it around the individual. Imagine your favorite barber is sick. It's a tafunga shop.
So hakuna income.
Hakuna income. And what about when he passes on?
Si ndivyo.
Kinyozi imeisha.
Tunamzika na mashini.
Yeah, so as much as his children would have wanted to continue the business, the structure is not such that
there's no structure to sustain
continuity.
Yeah.
Number two, to create now that structure, how do we create now a structure for continuity?
How do we create a structure for continuity?
Exactly. And it comes with what we call leveraging. Like, as much as you've created your job for yourself, there's this saying that time is money and time equals money. But in most cases, the people who say that are the people who sell their time directly for money. Like now for that instance, that kinyozi that you're talking about. But what if you leverage your time with probably a team? Okay. A team, for instance, if you're one kinyozi, you spend 30 minutes shaving one person. So in an hour, it's given that the maximum people you can shave are 2, right? But what if you have 2 employees?
So in an hour, you can be able to accomplish much.
Exactly.
And then divide the profits.
Exactly, something like that. So by the structures that we put is leveraging such that now, as much as you've created that job, create a team also. This team could be the family members, could be employees, and then create the systems. Because now systems are supposed to make the business work, whether you're there or not.
Oh.
Yeah, because the system is...
So a system can operate whether you are there or not.
The business works whether you're there or not.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now the kind of businesses that we have, kama hujafungua asubuhi,
nothing is coming.
Hakuna biashara itaendelea. But what if you have a system that, okay, this is what happens. Employee A opens the business at this time and cleans, and also it's also the receptionist. Customers come, they are received this way. I have let's say service provider, or rather employee A and B, they offer this service. This is how payment is made. This is how accounting is done. This is how salaries are paid. This is how rent is paid. So that kind of system ensures that even if you're not there,
the thing is running.
The thing is running.
So how do you create such a structure?
One, I think whatever we are doing is the right thing. We're giving that information out. So. And different businesses require different kind of structures.
Hebu enda practical na hiyo story ya kinyozi. We help you create imagine I'm a baba, Eric the baba.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric the baba. Don't trust me with your head, but imagine I'm the baba.
Okay.
Now help me, niko na kinyozi, I'm the guy who is doing this thing, okay?
Yeah.
Unakam na kucharge 300, but nakaa nawe 1 hour.
Okay.
So mmenipangia line kwa shelf. Kwa bench. And then Eric, the thing you're doing is amazing, but you can create a structure. Help me develop a structure. Yenye hiyo kinyozi inaweza run na inipe profits. Hata kama siingia hapo.
The first thing that has come to my mind, which is a little bit far-fetched, but it's what should work, is you create a brand for that kinyozi. So a brand works this way, that if, for instance, I want to have my hair shaved, okay, let's give another example. If I want a toothpaste, I go to the shop. I don't say nipatie toothpaste. I'll tag a certain name because that brand is in my mind.
Yeah, for long me nimejua toothpaste ni Colgate.
Exactly. So the same way, how do you create your brand?
Niambia shopkeeper nipe Colgate, nipe Colgate. Niambia si Colgate ile Colgate labda unaitisha yako fresh.
Ama Omo,
nipe Omo, kumbe unataka ile, but because wewe kwa mind yako unajua Colgate ndio toothpaste.
Exactly.
So creating a brand.
Creating a brand. And a brand means people can be able to identify or rather differentiate you from another kinyozi.
That's amazing.
Because right now when you go to any kinyozi, it's the same thing. You sit down, wanakuweka kakitu, they shave you, then some girls come, they massage. That thing blows your hair out. Unalipa, unaenda. You know, like, but if you go to another kinyozi in the next room, they'll do the same thing. What will make you remember this one over the other?
Because people are buying feelings. People are buying emotions. How do you make them feel?
What if in my brand, when I come, as I wait this coffee that has been served, what if I train my employees, that is the barbers who come, that this is the way we treat a client from the moment they enter that door to the moment they leave. We give maybe a discount. We give you a card with you can redeem points for how many times you've come. We give you this and that, such that it's now possible to open another branch
with your brand,
and
they'll still come,
because
they trust your
because
brand.
The treatment is the same across.
Yeah, you can be able to replicate the same feeling, the same treatment, the same services in another branch.
Yes.
Wow.
But tell me how many kinyozis, and the only thing that makes you loyal to that kinyozi is because huyo baba anajua style yako.
That's the only thing. Na sasa iko na kwa mwingine naweza kumexplainia.
Exactly. But imagine there was a barber shop here called let's say Madini, something barber shop, and you were in another town. And you don't have time to come back to your town to just get a shave. But they are there, they do the same services.
You find them, you watafuta.
Exactly.
You'll go out of your way kuwatafuta.
So basically, when you create a brand, the way you make people feel, the way you treat people, the way you are different from the next competing business.
So you must have an edge.
You must have an edge.
What is making you unique in the marketplace?
What's making you?
Because true story, if we talk about Madini Waters, there are very many companies who are offering water.
Yes.
What is giving Madini an edge into the market?
Exactly.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
Hata hizo cargo zenyu.
Remember, when you go to buy water, you don't just say, nipatie mineral water. Nipatie madini.
Nipe maji ya madini. Yeah. Because there is something that they have done that is giving an edge to their product.
Yes.
And this can happen hata kwa ile biashara ulikuwa unasema ya cabbage.
Hata ya cabbage.
Ile ya lori.
Yes, like, you know, okay, now you can because you know, when I entered that biashara, I did like everyone else, huh? And hata sijakwambia ni after nimepoteza pesa hapo, nimekaa hivi, the same guy called me na akaniambia, hey, nasikia biashara ya nyanya iko na pesa.
Mkaenda kwa nyanya.
Tukaenda kwa nyanya.
Na Kenya tuko na hiyo shida. Do you remember do you remember there's a time kulikuja quail?
Quail.
Hey Buddha, ungefikiria Kenya ni Israel. Everybody had quails.
Yeah.
Kenya ukisikia ni mushroom. Maana sisi wote tuko kwa makuno.
Kwa hiyo. Yeah. And that's
so
why
we are branding.
That's why I started also with the saying that when you find your purpose, because you might find that most people who are in kinyozi business, they're there because of the money, not because that is their purpose.
They're passionate about it. They love giving these customers a good feel.
Yes. They're not there because of all that you've said. They're there because of the money. Unajua, nikinyoa watu 10, niko na 2K,
yes.
nalipa bills.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
So,
na hao ndio wakisikia kuna quails, wanafunga hii.
Wanaenda kwa quails. Sababu quails inaleta 3K, na hii inaleta 2K.
Yeah. And if we can give an example here, let's assume that these 4 are orange fruits. Using the oranges. And this one is an orange seed. So I want to ask the people on the other side, utachagua gani? Machungwa ama kale kambegu kamoja?
Hawa na njaa zao wao.
Utachagua gani?
Wanaenda kwa machungwa. Hawa na njaa zao. Hawa na njaa zao. No, Willy permitted to speak. My producer permitted to speak. Utachagua gani? Mbegu. Kibu machungwa. Njaa yake Kibu imemleta kwa machungwa. Willy ameenda kwa mbegu. So we have two.
But we have done that research independently, and we had actual oranges and actual orange seed, and most people took the orange. But it's reflective of us as a society. When you walk outside here, you see a good car person. Unataka gari kama hiyo.
Yes.
You see someone with a lot of money, especially akiflows Instagram and wherever. Unataka pesa kama hiyo. You know. And the lesson that is here, it's quite deep. So I hope nitaisema the way it's supposed to be said. There's someone who said that you can count the number of seeds. Any fool can count the number of seeds in an orange. But only God knows how many oranges
are in a seed.
Wow.
Say that slowly. Say that slowly.
I wish I was holding an actual orange.
You can count the number of seeds in an orange.
Yes.
But only God knows
how many
oranges will come out of one seed.
Yes. But you see now, we are so much consumed with having the fruit. We are so much concerned with having the money, with having the good car, with having
the
results. None of us, or very few, are concerned with being the seed
that brings
the fruits. The Bible says, be fruitful. Doesn't say it the fruit, it says be fruitful. But when you look at the seed now, this is what happens. Before it becomes an orange, it has to be planted. So tunaongea kuhusu that. Uchafu.
Yes.
Kuna watu wanataka kuingia kwa uchafu. Kwa uchafu, it's dark. Kuna light. You in the darkness. No, if you're doing something like starting a business, hakuna watu wanakuwa proud.
Nobody's doing that.
Effort.
Yeah,
you waking up at 4 a.m.
Nobody is doing that.
Nobody
is seeing you.
No one is seeing you.
Nobody's cheering you
when you're making that small step of faith, hakuna mtu anakuona. Yeah? So the seed is in the ground at that time.
Yes.
The other thing, that seed has to produce roots.
And before then, it has to die.
It has to die.
Yeah.
It breaks, then it starts to produce roots.
Yes.
But roots grow downwards.
Yes.
Downwards meaning it has to go against gravity. It has to create space for itself because kuna mchanga, kuna mawe. And that's
all
the process.
Time hakuna mtu anaishangilia.
Hakuna.
So this is the process hatutaki.
In the process hatutaki. We don't want to be. We want to have.
Oh dear. Say that slowly. Say that slowly, Jose.
We don't want to be.
We don't want to be.
We want to have.
We want to have.
I ask you a question. Why do so many people who get a windfall ni ile pesa mingi at once, kama gambling ama something, why do they become broke? Maybe a few months or a few, even not many go to 1 year.
Very few have succeeded actually. Or they get millions, 200 millions on gambling, and all of a sudden,
hana kitu.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the problem?
Because that person had the fruit, but he didn't have the root.
They didn't know the process.
They don't
of getting the seed.
Exactly.
Planting the seed.
Yes.
Allowing the seed to die.
Yes.
Watering it.
Yes.
Weeding. And it's a process that takes a lot of time.
A lot of time. They don't have that. So the moment they have fruits, they don't know what to do with them. And that's also the reason why, if you want to know how this person will be in 10 years, hebu muulize nikikupatia 100k utafanya nini? Ukisikia story kama za nitakuwa Mombasa tu kwa beach na sip whatever, you know, that mindset, the person who really has it doesn't have that mindset. Hakuna millionaire atakwambia nataka tu kwa beach hapo tu nikifloss nikifanya nini. Because they know the process. They know that fruit that they're having, to generate more fruit, they have to take the seed, return to the process, and that seed becomes the fruit again.
This is the good thing I'm getting to say. So if you get to understand how to deal with the seed,
yes,
all right, if you get to understand how to deal with the seed, and you're patient with the process, you can be able to bring the fruits.
You can be able to
and then from the fruits, you can get more seeds, where you can keep replicating the cycle.
Yes, and that's why when we say only God knows how many oranges are in that seed, it's because it assumes that the human mind cannot be able to comprehend. Because that seed could be a forest as big as the biggest forest that you've ever seen.
That is true.
Yeah. So that's what we were talking about branding. That most people, when they are doing whatever they're doing it because they want the end result. They want to have. No one wants to pay the price of being that person. Kama mimi, when I was doing the nyanya and the cabbages, it's the money I was after.
Yes.
I had not become the farmer. I wasn't the trader who knows the markets. I wasn't any of that.
Figures,
exactly.
The fruits.
Exactly.
Yes.
When someone looks at you and they want to be as successful as you, they don't see the dirt, the darkness,
the pain, the toil, the struggles behind everything.
They just want the end product. So many people, when they don't find the end product within the time that they had given themselves, they give up. That's how businesses fail.
That's so profound. That is so profound. That is so profound. That is extremely profound. So, that is so profound. So, we learn the process, we'll be able to get the fruits, we reverse, we recycle, we do the thing again and again until tume ace venye tunaweza anza sasa kuteach mse.
Exactly.
So, you talked about branding. One more thing and then we conclude.
Okay, I think now the issue of time, the issue
Giving
of
it time.
persistence, yes.
By the unajua tuko na generation yenye kila kitu ni fast lane. Microwave generation. Mazina nataka fast food. Nataka forex sababu niliona forex wanaomoka very fast. It's like a process. When
I did a certain research, I found that most billionaires, like we have many millionaires and a few billionaires in Kenya, but most of them are in their 60s.
Most billionaires are in their 60s?
Yeah, I would about a billionaire in 40s.
Wow.
But in their 40s, that's when they maybe were millionaires. But it has taken 20 years
to graduate to the next level.
And those, it's not just sitting idle and waiting.
Those are hours of working, compounding a lot of work.
Exactly.
Learning, relearning, and learning, failing, succeeding.
But now we have this problem of social media. You know, we tend to believe whatever we see. You'll see a young man flossing, nice cars and all that, and then he spits out that word, that mini billionaire, out of nowhere, and we tend to believe, and then we want that kind of, remember we want that kind of lifestyle, that kind of money, but we want it now. If kama sio sasa,
ni sasa hivi.
Yeah, but impactful entrepreneurs, remember that's what we'd say.
Impactful entrepreneurship
takes time. Ukitaka pesa za haraka kuna deals mingi, watu fanya deals every time. But at that moment when you're doing a deal, you're just helping yourself na watu wenye wamekusaidia kupata hiyo deal.
But if you want impactful entrepreneurship,
yes, you're solving a problem. Time. You're creating a brand, you're creating trust amongst your clients or the people you serve, and this is now the root system. It takes time. So if you want anything worth having, then you must allow it to take its proper time.
And there's a due process and due time for everything.
Yes.
Remember, as our guest is saying, everything good takes time. Moses hakuwa deliverer in a day. He was thrown into the wilderness for almost 40 years.
40 years.
David was anointed as a king at 13. Boy amekuja kuwa king at 40.
At 40.
He yote ilikuwa kwa wilderness, God akimtrain.
Yes.
I know that you have believed that you have aced in identifying your purpose. Congratulations. But now there is another stage called the development stage. Hapo ndio Jose alikuwa anaongelelea kwa kusucceed. Because every purpose has these 3 stages. You have to discover it, then you develop it, then you deploy. Sasa kwa deployment ndio anaongelea kuhusu branding. But this dark stage, your development, nobody is seeing you, nobody is cheering you, but you've got to be working your heart out. You've got to be working. You see, when I started preaching, I used to preach to 2 as though I was preaching to 20, as though I was preaching to 2,000. You have to do it as though everybody is watching. A good scenario ni watu kama wakina Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt anakimbia only 9 seconds. Akina Omanyala, they only run for seconds. But these guys train for hours in a day. In a day, for hours. Cristiano Ronaldo at 40. The guy watu wengine wakienda holiday, anakomboa Real Madrid Stadium, yeye na nutritionist na coach wake na mtoto wake, just to train and polish on their craft. If you want to be the best in the market, you must give your very best. You must give yourself to it for it to give itself back to you. I hope you have enjoyed this service. The service. I hope you have enjoyed so far. So, parting shot, look at this camera and give me a parting shot to our viewers.
So, from our discussion, I hope you can already tell I'm a personal finance advisor, wealth manager, so for clients, and I have a financial literacy program. It's called Ufalme Wetu. So if you search on all platforms, Ufalme Wetu, you'll find so many impactful lessons that can help you maybe grow your business. So parting short, as you said, you are a preacher, and I also like to take the business that I do, all the impact that I make using the word of God. And you know the parable of the talents. And Jesus tells this parable to his disciples, and you know the details. But at the end, there was one person who had one talent and hid it, so he didn't produce anything. There was another one who had 2x his talents, that is, he had one, but when the master came back, he had 2, and there's another one who had 5. And the one that had hidden his talent, Jesus told them, he called him foolish and asked him, why couldn't you even have taken this talent to the bank so that it could have earned some interest? Yeah. So many people take the talent as kipawa, ama Kenyan part, what you're good at, which can also be that. But in the Roman times, talent was money. So probably you'll invite me for another session, and in that time now we'll be talking about how can you be able now to convert your talent, even if it's one, to wealth.
Wow.
From seed to fruits. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you for what you're doing. Great impact.
Thank you so much. Definitely, our viewers, he's gonna be back. He is gonna be back because he is a wealth of wisdom, oozing knowledge, giving us facts and history that is relevant to us today and now. Unfortunately, that's all we had time for. Special thanks. You know, they say that it takes a village to raise a child. Special thanks to my production team for making this amazing work behind the scenes. Special thanks to Madini Waters for sponsoring us and giving us, quenching our thirst. Remember, your body deserves the best, and the best is Madini. Maji ni Madini. And special thanks to Peakrest Homes for giving us an ample place where we can be able to broadcast this at a comfortable space so that we can be able to impact your life to the utmost. To the glory of God, I believe this show has been impactful, but until next time, let's keep walking by faith.